pandemic would have taught us is that if we have to slow down, we can and survive. If we have to change the way in which we live, we can and will survive even better.
Let us all work together to slow greenhouse gas emissions in Jamaica, and by doing so, we can contribute to a greener planet. We can and must do it for all our sakes. Your favorite magazine program continues right after this short break.
The Forestry Department is leading the implementation of the National Tree Planting Initiative, which seeks to plant 3 million trees in 3 years, one for each Jamaican plus a little extra for good measure. So I'm inviting each Jamaican to visit our nurseries across the island and collect your tree seedling and make your mark towards this great goal for Jamaica.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, August 9, 2021. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information has allocated $9.3 billion in grants to secondary schools for the 2021-2022 academic year. It is being paid in 4 tranches, with the first disbursement made in June. The funds are intended to equip schools with the necessary infrastructure and resources for face-to-face or virtual lessons. It includes maintenance funds of $88.5 million and $2.1 billion to cover the nutritional grant for students on the Program of Advancement Through Health and Education PATH. $755 million is allocated to provide tablets and laptops for PATH students. The ministry also released a bulletin informing that the regular grant of $17,000 per pupil will be paid directly from the central ministry. Meanwhile, funding for critical repairs has been allocated to select secondary schools in the amount of $1.1 billion. Programs of the Caribbean Examinations Council CXC, Caribbean Vocational Qualification CVQ, National Vocational Qualification of Jamaica NVQJ, and City and Guilds will be supported to the tune of $750 million. Select secondary schools will receive an amount for apprenticeship initiatives. In addition, 130 schools will receive $2.3 million each under the Rural Transportation Program. The ministry will also provide educational resources to students under the National Textbook Loan Scheme and the Secondary Textbook Program. Schools will also receive textbooks for English language and the sciences at a cost of approximately $200 million. Island-wide COVID-19 vaccinations resumed today as government continues its drive to prevent illness and death associated with the pandemic. This follows the week-long vaccination blitz that saw more than 63,000 Jamaicans vaccinated, bringing the total number of persons who have received the vaccine to 372,911. The Health Ministry is seeking to administer 700,000 doses of the vaccine by the end of September. Members of the public are encouraged to make their appointments online at www.moh.gov.jm or call the Vaccination Call Center at 888-1-LOVE. That's 888-663-5683. Persons with confirmed appointments must visit their vaccination site on time with their TRN and government-issued identification or letter from a Justice of the Peace. At the same time, the ministry is urging Jamaicans to stay vigilant and continue to practice the infection prevention and control measures, including mask wearing, maintaining the 6 feet physical distancing from others, and frequently washing and/or sanitizing hands. Meanwhile, the leave entitlements for some health staff in the public health system may be deferred as part of the efforts to manage hospitalized cases of persons with the novel coronavirus. The Health Ministry says this measure, together with the resumption of vaccinations, is being implemented as it activates its surge plan to cope with the third wave of COVID-19 now impacting the island. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says hospitals across the island are seeing an increase in cases. In anticipation of further increases and demand on bed occupancy, the regional health authorities have been advised to review and revise leave rosters to ensure that there is adequate staff. Dr. Tufton says the hospitals are under severe constraints, and this is likely to have implications for elective or non-emergency procedures. He says major hospitals are over 100% of their isolation capacity for confirmed and suspected COVID-19 cases. Jamaica registered 379 new COVID-19 infections and 3 deaths on Saturday, August 7. This increased the island's total number of infections to 54,859 and the total number of deaths to 1,222. A $50 million National Small Ruminant Development Program has been officially launched at the Hounslow Research Station in St. Elizabeth. The program is geared towards rapidly increasing the population of primarily goat and sheep to expand the productivity and quality of small ruminant meat and milk. This is to be achieved through the purchase and distribution of mature bucks to expand breeding support to small ruminant clusters across the island. According to Agriculture Minister Floyd Green, more than 6,000 registered small ruminant farmers are to benefit for free from the initiative. It is aimed at growing the sector by 5% each year, steadily decreasing the country's import bill for goat meat.
Those farmers will be able to get 1 to 3 strands of semen free of cost, paid for by the government of Jamaica, so that you can use that to drive your small ruminant population. We're also going to be doing embryo transfers. We're also going to be bringing in new livestock so that we can get the genetics right. But importantly, we're going to be doing significant training around feed, around your rations, around your husbandry practices, your fodder banks, all of the elements that you need to be better goat farmers.
The Jamaica Dairy Development Board has also been tasked with developing a national livestock policy to help enhance the sector. And finally, E-Learning Jamaica Limited, ELJAM, has partnered with the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, STATIN, and the Ministry of Education to procure electronic devices for use in the 2022 National Census. Acting Chief Executive Officer of E-Learning, Andrew Lee, made the announcement at a recent JIS think tank session.
There are 7,500 devices that are being procured. The devices are going to be distributed all across the island for use in the gathering of data for the census.
Deputy Director General of Statin, Lisha Delati-Bodair, explains that a memorandum of understanding was signed by all 3 entities. She says the devices procured by E-Learning will be used by data collectors in the field to collect data in a timely and efficient manner, especially given the current restrictions of the coronavirus pandemic. Once the census is completed, the devices will be donated to the Education Ministry to support the Tablets in Schools program. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Do you own land and need a title? Well, the National Land Agency NLA can help. Through the systematic land registration process, the NLA will assist residents to get titles in declared project areas across Jamaica. Systematic land registration is the methodical and orderly registration of parcels of land in a designated area known as systematic adjudication area. For further information on the systematic land registration process, including declared systematic adjudication areas, who can apply and the benefits, visit the National Land Agency's website at www.nla.gov.jm or email asknla@nla.gov.jm. The National Land Agency, one agency, one goal.
Though we marked Independence Day on Friday, we're still in celebration mode. Let's bask in one of our many creations, our music.
Relax, man, we'll soon get there. In fact, we are here, the Institute of Jamaica. This is where we're going.
What is this, Grandpa?
When you're going, you'll see. Come on, let's go.
Oh, is that where I'm someplace me no want to go?
You say you want to be a musician? Well, you have to come here. Let me show you where the music is coming from. Step inside. See, this is where I want it to come. You see how far Jamaican music coming from, Kadim? These are Tainas, the first people, and see, they're playing drums and dancing. And look at these African instruments. That's when the first Africans came to Jamaica. Now, I bet you don't know what this instrument is.
Rumba box?
It is a rumba box, and you hear that in what kind of music now?
Mento.
Mento, that's what makes the mento music so sweet. Now, look at this. This is jazz music. Jamaica had a rich tradition of jazz. Coming right out of Alpha Boys School, you see it? Right after jazz, the same jazz musicians were playing R&B.
I found my thrill.
That came from America. And when the R&B dried up from America, then they started making Jamaican R&B. Jamaican turned the R&B around and made their own Jamaican style of R&B music, which then led to ska.
It was the beginning of independence. Ska was looked upon as the new sound of Jamaica. We find in our own identity, not following the American R&B or the ballad or the middle of the road kind of music that was coming from North America and Europe. And so it was very nationalist in its outlook and output.
Gather together, be brothers and sisters, we're independent. Join and stuff and still bring story to dance, we're independent. Oh, be sad and blue. The Lord is still with you. God bless, no one curse. Thank God I'm not the worst.
Seems like the music always speak about social issues.
A lot of the music is about social issues. After all, life is music and music is life. After ska, you got Rocksteady.
Rocksteady, the rhythm, the ska still continue, but the bass rock. And the guitar and the piano, ska same way. But the bass, the emphasis on the bass. So you fall back on you.
Well, it look as if we can hear music here.
I like this, Grandpa.
This
nice.
is Rocksteady. Now you should have seen me and your grandmother in those days. Rocking steady.
Yeah, Grandpa.
Yes. That's Alton Ellis, you know. The great Rocksteady singer. But we turn down the people things here. Next thing, they throw us out of here. And go back to watch this thing.
But Grandpa, you've been talking about Jamaican music for how long now, and until now I haven't heard anything about reggae.
Well, we're coming right up to reggae now. Here we are, reggae. Well, first of all, many people say that reggae was born at Sir Coxson's Studio 1 on Brentford Road.
Clement Dad brought a piece of machinery to the studio for about a year. It was sitting there. And no one knew exactly what to do with it. And so they hooked it up one day and decided to implement it. And they discovered it was a tape delay. And so they hooked it into the machine and they started doing it into the recording. So when they put the guitar sound through the tape delay, it comes back saying, the rest of studios hearing this recording out, they thought it was the guitar making that and just copied that, and that was the birth of reggae music.
I want to do the reggae, girl, with you. Yeah, come on to me.
Here are some of the great artists who came out of that. Bob Marley, Peter Tosh and Bonnie Livingston, the Wailers, Burning Spear, and so on. Now, reggae was also a way of life. It was the greatest advertisement for Rastafari.
I think it's my time to teach you a little bit.
What can you teach me?
Come right here, sir.
Oh, dancehall. I know that's when you were going to get happier. It was also a little bit different in the 80s where you have more artists that come and you have to compete with artists like every day, and the dancehall vibes. When you go into the dancehall, you know, you have to just hold the mic to get a bus. And now it's different. You just have a CD, you go to the radio station and get some airplay.
The 90s had these persons like Beenie Man, Lady Saw, and Bounty Killer. Up to today, Beenie Man and Bounty Killer still have swag. Right now, we have producers that are artists that are producers, and radio jocks who are doing both. With technology, the music is now diverse.
We are accepting music on a broader scale. One time gone till you want to hear hip-hop music or techno music being played in a dancehall setting. And that is happening right now. A lot of pop music is being accepted. Disco music, techno music, electro house music is being accepted right now. Hip-hop music is widely accepted right now. So we as Jamaican, we are listening to a wide cross-section of music.
That means that we took music and turned it into Jamaican music, and we have given it back to the world, and everything has now come together. Kadeem, the tour done. See, it wasn't that bad after all.
For real, Grandpa. Really inspired by all of this. Well, out of many, we're really one music.
And you might yet become a good musician.
Thanks, Grandpa.
Yes.
It's absolutely critical that we receive the vaccines. You will see hospitalizations and indeed deaths likely come down. And so there is a lot of value to be gained by getting as many vulnerables on board as possible. So tell your mothers, tell your aunts, listen out for yourselves if you're over 60, and take the vax, because the vax is what will help you to guard against the COVID virus, and indeed help your relatives, your friends, those who you come in contact with, for the same benefit.
Everyone has a right to access justice, regardless of one's circumstance. See how you can access services related to the law through the Legal Aid Clinic.
Yo. Alright, yo, may make a call.
Hello?
Yeah, Jen, auntie, just get a call from the station here. Them lock up Johnny.
Lord have mercy. So what them have him there for?
Some gun business in a taxi and them something.
Out of trouble. Business not even going too right. Oh God.
No man, enough for money now. You can go to a legal aid council, them have a list of lawyer where well them provide it free.
Alright, me love.
Yeah man, just go down there and talk to somebody.
We will meet you there in a little while.
Johnny's case is one of some 3,000 for which the Legal Aid Council makes duty counsel representation each year. The Duty Counsel Service provides for free legal representation from a lawyer at the police station for persons arrested, detained, or remanded. The assigned counsel will visit the person in need and provide help at the various stages: the lockup, identification parade, interrogation, and apply for station bail or bail by the court. Lockup visits and bail application are free of cost and require no application form. Everyone has the right to justice through the country's justice system, even if they cannot afford the cost for legal services. The Legal Aid Council has been ensuring this restricted access to justice, and lawyers assigned complete hundreds of some 1,500 court cases annually, benefiting hundreds of children and adults. Legal aid is the system that provides legal representation for Jamaicans who can ill afford to pay for this service whenever they come in conflict with the law, thus ensuring access to justice for all persons without financial barriers. The organization established to support these services is the Legal Aid Council. The Legal Aid Council, a statutory body within the Ministry of Justice, governs the legal aid system. For court representation, the Legal Aid Council or the court office completes an application form on behalf of the client and assigns a lawyer to represent the client until the end of the matter. All attorneys assigned court matters are private attorneys required to vigorously defend the right of the client, take full instructions from the client, advise the client, and ensure the best outcome on behalf of the client. Cases involving murder matters only require assigned attorneys to have 10 years' experience or more. Where a defendant requires DNA, handwriting, or other specialized expertise to advance their case, the Legal Aid Council will undertake the cost for a client unable to afford these professional services. While the Legal Aid Council provides full representation in court for clients with criminal matters, the Council only provides consultations on civil matters before determining whether the individual can afford legal representation. Thereafter, the Council provides an attorney to assist with a court matter. The duty counsel representation from the point of arrest to the first court appearance is free and does not require the completion of an application form.
There are two main ways to access legal aid for criminal matters. One is the duty counsel stage. This is where a person has been taken into police custody and you're entitled to a lawyer. No application to fill out, no contribution fee to make from the moment you are taken into custody until your first court date. That is duty counsel. The officer has a duty to call duty counsel. Every station should have a list of the duty counsel available. If they don't, contact the legal aid counsel for an up-to-date list. If it's a family member that comes to the legal aid counsel or the clinics, if the person is in custody not charged, no application form, no fees. The counselor or the clinic makes a call wherever the person is to an attorney who has his office near to that location and assigns the attorney. The attorney at the end of the matter sends in a claim to us. So the client makes no payment to the attorney.
The Forestry Department is going full speed ahead with its National Tree Planting Initiative, making a variety of plants available to customers. One of these trees is the national flower of Jamaica. After watching this feature, I'm sure you'll contact the Forestry Department to secure a plant of your own.
Christopher Columbus saw it here when he came. It means wood of life in Latin. It's world-renowned for its medicinal, ornamental, and industrial properties. But round these parts, it's known as the Lignum Vitae, the island's national flower.
It is a tree that is native to Jamaica, it's native to Cuba, basically the Greater Antilles and parts of Central America. Its native habitat is pretty much dry alluvial type plains. It also grows in well-drained limestone areas.
This short, compact tree takes over 100 years to grow up to 30 feet tall. Due to its luminous purple-blue flower, alluring orange-yellow fruit, evergreen foliage, and attractive rounded shape, the tree dots across the Jamaican landscape, shading many houses, streets, and complexes. Since time immemorial, the Lignum Vitae has been touted as the most useful tree in the world.
It produces a gum, and that gum used to be regarded as highly favored for medicinal uses.
Its body, gum, bark, fruit, leaves, and blossom are used to produce medicine. In colonial times, resin from the tree was used as a mild laxative and as a diuretic. The leaves were used as a remedy for respiratory, inflammatory, congestion, and neurological disorders. Its bark eases pain from sprains, strain, rheumatism, and arthritis. And I'm sure many Jamaican homes still ward off flies with its branches.
Its most noted feature is the wood. Because it's slow growing, it's very, very dense. And that density and the weight of it gives it a number of industrial uses.
That's because the Lignum Vitae is infused with an oil which makes it waterproof. It's ranked as the world's densest, hardest, and most durable traded wood. In addition to being used for making exquisite furniture, the Lignum Vitae was used to insulate trolley cars for the rail industry. The wood also made the propeller shaft bearings of most ships back in the day. Lignum Vitae wood is also ideal for these creations. The Lignum Vitae is truly the holy grail of plants.
That's all the time we have here on this station. Keep the lines of communication open. Email us, Jamaica Magazine@gis.gov.jm. Join us on all the major social media platforms. Visit our website and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Catch up with us while on the go by downloading our mobile app. We are here for you. On behalf of the entire team here at the GIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.